Hello everyone, I hope you are all enjoying your mandatory staycations or at least find it bearable. As you might predict, the current events outside and around this country has hampered my ability to work, but thankfully we are nearing a point where I can start making these videos again. So as I am sure you are as tired as I am for hearing all the doom and gloom news in your feed every day, all day, I would like to impart with you some other stories that are off those topics and maybe a bit more entertaining. So without further ado, welcome to the Week in Geek. We've all heard about the entire NBA season being called off thanks to the pandemic. So what do our esteemed athletes get to do instead of playing the NBA? Well, it's playing NBA 2K, of course. The actual basketball league and the esports league for the game have come into a partnership to fill the void that has been left by all the now empty time slots for ESPN, where we get to watch the best players of basketball take on each other on virtual courts. While many would quickly admit that being good in a video game version of a sport doesn't make you a good actual player of said sport, it turns out the same can be said vice versa. Kevin Durant expressed his frustration at having his digital team of athletes not play as he had pictured it in his mind, and then lost the first round to Derrick Jones Jr. So, I'm also not gonna pretend that I know who that is. I just know the ones who are very popular and I hear all the time. But it is actually nice to see these guys being laid back and enjoying a game. And, well, being intensely salty over losing a video game. Don't worry, Mr. Durant, we've been there. We've all been there. The 40th anniversary of Gundam continues to make stuff to look forward to for its fans, particularly for the ones in the Philippines when it comes to this movie, Mobile Suit Gundam Hathaway. It was recently revealed that the setting for the next movie will be in Davao, a large region in the southern island of the Philippine archipelago. Now, this isn't the first time that Giant Robot Warfare has Philippines as the setting. Back then in Gundam Thunderbolt, there was a manga spin-off that featured Taal as their setting. Also, back in 2000, there was a game called Front Mission 3 by Squaresoft, and it was still Squaresoft, where the Philippines had a rocket base, a lot of robots, and even a floating fortress. The movie has no known release date as of yet, but it will be continuing the Universal Century timeline, featuring the son of Bright Noah who calls himself Hathaway. What the story will be is kind of up in the air. All we know so far is that it's after Char's counterattack. With everyone being asked to stay home, well, I suppose asked is putting it lightly, with everyone stuck at home, the go-to source for entertainment is Netflix and the like for movies, TV shows, all that. Now, clearly everybody doing this at the same time puts a strain on the internet infrastructure, and this is especially true for Europe, which does have updated internet infra in certain areas, but DSL lines in others. This results in having a demand much higher than what their current ISPs can provide. So the bandwidth, which is the amount they can actually dish out, is just not enough. Some suspected that gamers are bearing most of the stress or causing most of the weight on the internet. But it's really these streaming services that are demanding so much data. A regular game of Dota 2 or Fortnite is just a fraction of your typical movie. Instagram, Netflix, Disney, and YouTube have answered this problem by removing higher resolution streams as an option on their service. This move had reduced the internet traffic by about 25%, that is huge, when they tried it in Italy and Spain. They plan to proceed doing the same for the rest of Europe. The real question here is if it's going to be good enough. Quarantine orders aren't uniform across several places, and data on how much bandwidth needs to be freed up is literally unknown, as internet providers and relevant analysts have spotty data points to work on. So, for the sake of our sanity, you might want to stock up on movies or shows early or find something else to do. A few days ago, Cooking Mama suddenly appeared on the Nintendo eShop and was just as quickly pulled out without explanation. The internet did not hesitate to throw their speculations, and one of the more popular ones being that Cooking Mama Cookstar actually had crypto mining functions embedded in its code, which could explain why it had a tendency to overheat a Nintendo Switch for those few who managed to nab a copy. Now, crypto mining, a process meant to dedicate processing power of a computer to a blockchain in exchange for virtual bucks, is usually left to powerful rigs that have top-of-the-line processors and left to doing just that. According to Screen Rant, who claims to have been reached out by a member of the development team behind the game, there is a more grounded explanation. The source explains that the overheating issue is simply an efficiency issue thanks to the use of Unity as their engine, along with many developers within their team being new to the scene, which may explain the lack of experience for optimization. As for the reason why the game was pulled, the source explains that it's really a legal battle between the publisher, Planet Entertainment, and the IP holder, Office Create. According to the source, the publisher released the game against the IP holder's wishes, and well, now we are where we are. Unsure if Cooking Mama will make it back to the Switch. Amid the pandemic, The Last of Us Part 2 has been indefinitely delayed by Sony Interactive Entertainment along with the Iron Man VR game. Now, they will reason out that it's due to logistical difficulties and that they refuse to deliver a product that's not the best possible experience for its fans, or something to that effect. But anyone who has the capability to read between the lines can quickly see why they went with the indefinite delay. You don't want to release a game featuring a pandemic when there's an actual one in real life. As a business, you don't want to give your marketing department problems they can avoid. But hey, fans probably shouldn't have to worry too much. Once the grip of this whole situation eases up a bit, I'm sure we'll finally be able to play this highly anticipated title with maybe a few adjustments and maybe more polish. And with that, you are all caught up. So what do you think? Was it a good idea to hold back The Last of Us? Do you think Cooking Mama's final goal is to turn your Nintendo Switch into a microwave? Can you beat professional NBA players at NBA 2K? Because if you do, you'll be beating them on national TV. Tell us what you think. Leave your comments down below. I'll be checking them out. Thank you for watching and making it to the end. We are finally getting our feet back on the ground and we hope to make new and entertaining content for all of you. Go ahead and like and subscribe if this is the kind of content up your alley. Do check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and our very own site, RayMaruFiles.com. We will see you again next time.